My name is Muthoni, drummer queen. I am a musician from Kenya.
Muthoni, drummer queen.
I am born, raised, and based in Nairobi City, which is the capital city of Kenya. I've been officially in the music business since 2008 when I released my first project. And I have been making music with producers from Kenya and from other parts of the world. Most notably, I've had an ongoing music collaboration since 2013 with two Swiss producers, Greg and Hook. In the process of figuring out the music ecosystem and trying to get out there, I realized that there was an opportunity to create a platform to present myself to audiences, and I recognized that other artists could also utilize the platform to, get direct access to markets. So we began a music festival in 2008 called Blankets and Wine. We are now in our 15th year in Kenya, our 10th year in Uganda, and we are entering our second year of operations in Kigali. The whole idea is to create a direct route for artists to go to market and for brands to discover artists, and most importantly, to create a big live music ecosystem in East Africa. We've come through a very difficult period of the pandemic, and we continue to be in a very difficult situation given the general economic prevailing conditions in Kenya and really globally. As a live music event, the festival was left in disarray because our business is really about congregating different stakeholders around this big music principle. So as we were starting to think about, how do we get back into market? How do we produce events again? There was a real question around financing. Often what happens in our sector is that the founders or the investors in the business will raise money for the stabilization of their working team and then have to raise a separate piece of money for the production of the event. And so in talking with friends around, financing of the event and figuring out where the money to do our first post-pandemic event would come from, a friend of ours recommended that we speak to Harbour Capital. Our first meeting with Teddy and Diana proved to be very open-hearted. They listened to us. They were familiar with the work that we have done. They enjoyed the music industry, and they felt that while it was risky, we had demonstrated good success in the past. But to be very honest, I think the thing that tipped them over was that we had, on the strength of the partnership with our ticketing partner, we not only had data to show how we have performed in the past, but that the ticketing partner was willing to act as a guarantor to the financing. And we think that this innovation really helped Harbour understand how to manage the risk that we presented. After about 2 or 3 meetings and consultation, with some due diligence on their part, they confirmed that we were indeed an ongoing concern, and that our back end, so to speak, of business was solid. We are duly registered and are operating in a legal way in this environment. And together with our projections for the event and the guarantee offered around the investment coming in from ticketing and our previous history, we were able to acquire financing for our event. The investment that we took from Harbour is in the form of a product, cash flow financing. That is a product that Harbour offered us. We picked this product because it was exactly matched to our needs. We wanted financing to meet certain specific items in our production budget. We wanted the money for a short window of time, and we wanted it at a rate that was fair. And we found that Haba had a really competitive product, and this is why we went with Haba. Generally, financing for the music sector, for the creative sector as a whole, but specifically for the music industry, is quite difficult to come by because the traditional places where we can find money, for example, banks are really strong on asset financing, but are not really strong in this idea of cash flow financing. Most importantly, because they don't have enough data to understand the way the sector operates, and because there's not enough credible guarantors to the sector, it's usually very difficult to raise money from traditional institutions. So this product that Haba designed for us is actually very unique in the market, and the thinking around the guarantee for the money means that, if you're able to demonstrate a good history of trade and your trading partner is verified, you will have a guarantor and access these funds even without, land or all these other guarantees that are required by traditional sources of money. We started to work with Haba Capital in September of 2022, and I must say it has been a really useful experience, not only because we were able to access the financing, but Teddy, who ran the project, or at least the Blankets and Wine project, proved to be such a useful resource. He really helped us think around our cash flow planning, pre-event and post-event, thinking through different scenarios, and really brought a sense of financial, can I call it literacy or planning, a very high level way of thinking. And it really allowed us to acquire new tools when we are thinking around like cash flow planning, like new ways of considering. So for these reasons, I really would recommend Haba to people in our sector and in other sectors. In Haba, you will find people who genuinely care about the work that you're doing and who are really going to walk you through your own thoughts. And that sometimes is even more valuable than the money that you would receive. Beyond that also is, the principles in Haba are connected to other opportunities, and it seemed pretty clear to us that a fruitful engagement with Haba could tap us into other people in their universe of donors and partners. So they're quite well plugged in their own ecosystem. So 100% recommend Haba.